Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
And welcome to another edition of the Voice of the Land right here on the Big Play Network, partnered with LPV Productions, and of course brought to you by Vector Technical. They'll get the right person in the right job the first time. This is going to be an abbreviated version of the Voice of the Land. Dad life and computers possibly blowing up. We don't have much time, so we are going to get as much in as we can in a half hour. So we'll still get the messages out from Vector Technical. Make sure to reach out to them. They have plenty of job openings all the time. More information on them to come as well. And if we don't get a chance to get to it, make sure you head on over to voiceoftheland.com/shop to get your Voice of the Land gear. I am Kevin Arnold. He is Always Positive Jay, not wearing the Iron Man mask. But what Jarvis was to Iron Man, audio is to the Voice of the Land. And it is our producer extraordinaire behind the ones and twos today. That is Peter Tellup. And we had a plan for what we were going to do for the show. And of course, things can always change as news comes out. And unfortunately, we start tonight giving our prayers, our well wishes to a absolute legend in the sports broadcasting industry here in the city of Cleveland, the play-by-play voice of the Cleveland Browns. Jim Donovan announced tonight on Channel 3 News that he is once again dealing with leukemia. So we are sending as many positive thoughts, as many well wishes to Jim, his family, the Browns organization, because I know that they're going to do, and the great medical staffs that we have, no matter what avenue you go down, university hospitals, Cleveland Clinic, whatever it may be, there are so many great and world-renowned cancer research and cancer programs going through stuff like this. So he's won the fight before, and we know that Jim is going to fight hard, and I'm sure he's still going to find a way to try to work as much as he can as well, because that's the type of guy that he is. But all the best to Jim Donovan. I don't know if you guys want to say something, but wanted to make sure that on behalf of the Voice of the Land and the Big Play Network, we send our best to Jim.
I think you said that pretty well, Kevin. Just, thoughts to him and his family. It's a pretty rough thing to go through, and it's a tough battle.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to him also. And he's just, man, he is a staple of the Browns. It's like he is the voice of the Browns. We just lost the face of the Browns, Jim Brown. And like, sometimes I think maybe we all take for granted how good we have it with our sports announcers in this town. Like, we have 3 great teams, and all their announcers are just fabulous. And Jim probably being the cream of the crop.
Absolutely. And then, we've had in the past of the Cavs, we've had Joe Tate, and now, I know that Jim Jones is part of it. And for some reason, I'm mistaken on the other guy's name right now. But, Jim Donovan, Nathan Zagura, who moved up to the booth last year, breaking it down. I mean, working in the industry that I do in radio and at one of the stations that runs the Browns games on radio, it's like you're watching the game because they paint the picture so well. And then Tom Hamilton, of course, with the baseball team, with the Guardians. Like you said, Jay, we are so fortunate for the people that we have. And, again, we can't send any more well wishes than I know that we're going to day by day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute to Jim Donovan. And honestly, to everyone dealing with cancer, dealing with leukemia specifically. An uncle I never got to meet. My mom's my mom has always been the oldest in her family, but the sibling that was closest to her in age, in his early to mid 20s, he lost, I think it was like third battle or so with leukemia. And, my late grandmother, that was one of those organizations and nonprofits, leukemia research. That was what she always made sure to put a donation in his name for. And so a lot of people have dealt with it. Jim Donovan is kind of the local face of it, but there are many more people going through it and going through other forms of cancer. And we send all of our prayers and well wishes to all of those people. And hopefully we can get some more answers and with all the research being done and the advancements in technology, hopefully maybe we can get some answers to the different types of cancers and help people live longer lives and not have so many sad stories behind them.
It
Never
really makes you realize how small and insignificant some of your problems in life are.
It does. It does. And I'd say, I mean, becoming a dad has kind of helped with that. But I mean, again, to go through it just real quick, I always say at the end of the show, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. And in the grand scheme of things, I guess you could say these are just games. They're kind of our escape. But to some people, sports means a lot to them. And it's more than just what you see on TV. There's a lot of meaning there. There's a lot of deep-rooted family elements to it. And some of my family always used to tell me, when I get upset if a team lost, it's just a game. Well, to me, it's not, especially in a big game. It's not just a game. But saying that comes with the understanding that there are still bigger things than sports. As much as we all love sports, other people love the theater. Other people love television or movies or whatever craft they might be into. Whatever they do, they love that. I love sports, but we all know and have to come to the realization, and unfortunately, life will do it to you. That life is much bigger than all of that, and those moments are never easy, and getting news like Jim Donovan got, or anybody that goes through it is never easy. But again, the fight will be there, and all of the city of Cleveland and Browns Nation, Cleveland fans everywhere around the world are all behind him, and I know also behind anyone going through it at the same time.
And to hit on what you were saying, I've been actually working on, I was talking to Jay Crawford and getting him come on the show, and when he comes on, I want to have him talk about this. I learned a lot from what he said that his dad taught him, and it's hitting on what you're talking about, where it is more than a game. Like, sports bring people together. It's a fabulous thing. It's an escape from life. It gets kids on the right track in certain situations in life. Like, it really is more than a game, but at the same time, it is just a game. And if your team loses, yeah, it's gonna hurt. But at the end of the day, you got to look and be like, you know what? As long as my family's healthy, I'm healthy, things are good, let's just concentrate on that. But when they win, go crazy and enjoy it to the fullest.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to have him on, because the way he words it's just much better than I can do it.
Yeah, and look, I mean, to transition out of this, it's not the easiest thing, but the job that Jim does is to report on the news here in Cleveland and to be the play-by-play person and do the sports at Channel 3. And I know that he wants people to keep doing what they do. And, there's going to be plenty of conversations on talk radio and different news networks, because while there is competition in moments like this, all those lines, all those barriers, invisible barriers get dropped. And, but I know that Jim would want everybody just to keep, because he's keeping going. We need to keep going as well. And
I mean, when you see the dude literally describing what's going on in that video, and he's just like, I'm going to be at work when I can, I'm going to do what I can. Like, if that's not motivating you, I don't know what will. Like, it's like, all right, this dude's going through hell, and he's there explaining it with a straight face. Like, and I'm over here when we were talking about, like, the Browns suck and they lose and how it's hard to report on it. I'm like, wow, I feel stupid. Like,
yeah. And, with these moments, I mean, there's never an easy way to transition out. And I don't really want to try to for someone like Jim Donovan. I think giving him his just due, whether he sees this or not, that doesn't really matter. What matters is the support. Just to be seen giving support, just so you were seen doing it, that's not giving of yourself. Giving of yourself is doing it when no one's watching. So we will take a quick break and then come back to Jay, probably about 15, 20 minutes. We'll probably split it up between Guardians and Browns, as much as there's not much to break down. There is one name being connected with the Browns, and we would not be doing our jobs if we didn't at least touch on it. But I have a feeling I know where all of us stand on that matter as well. So You are tuned in to the Voice of the Land right here on the Big Play Network.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
And welcome back to the Voice of the Land right here on the Big Play Network. It is myself, our producer, Peter Tellup, and somehow Iron Man has joined us here for a quick little interview. Iron Man, thank you so much for taking some time.
How's it going, Kevin? Just got done saving the world.
Are you able to, does that mask open?
Jarvis, open mask. Oh, I can see you. It's just Jay. Sorry.
Oh, it's just Jay. I thought I was going to get to talk to the real Iron Man on this show, but I guess not.
No,
but we do.
You just got to settle for me, I guess.
Well, I don't like doing that all the time. So.
No, that was the fabulous gift that Tiffany got me for my birthday. She took a voice of one of my friends and he said, the best gifts are the ones you know, if you know someone's like, oh, wow, that's super awesome, but there's no way in hell that they're going to buy it. Mm-hmm. You buy it for them. And when they get it, they're just like, wow. You're like, that's kind of how I was. But
yeah, I'm a little jealous, but that's okay. You know, we'll just make sure everybody knows that I am the Iron Man of the show, just so everybody.
This is true. Like, I would prefer to actually be the Captain America of the show, but
you want America's ass?
I got America's ass.
Okay. All right. From America.
Hey, that's how he would have answered it. Let's be real.
From America's ass to the ball diamond. The Cleveland Guardians. We will start there here tonight. We're, again, a shorter show this evening. We did start the show making sure we did touch on the brilliance and sending well wishes and prayers to Jim Donovan. If you have not heard, he is battling leukemia again, so we are sending well wishes, and we will continue to do that each and every single time we get a chance to be on here. But with the Guardians, 2 series wins, back-to-back series wins, getting a walk-off win to win the series against the St. Louis Cardinals over the holiday weekend, and then a good win on Memorial Day with Logan T. Allen, absolutely dominant, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts in his 7th start. Now, granted, people don't have a book on him yet, but if you got the talent, it's going to show, and when people start to adjust to you, you are one of the better players in the league if you can adjust back or you don't allow those adjustments to rattle you. We've seen a lot of young pitchers come up and not be rattled by the moment, even if they didn't have the best of showings, but a great showing on Memorial Day. And again, just to real quick, all those who have served and given their life, we send prayers and well wishes to those families as well. We can't thank our military, our armed forces, our first responders enough, putting their lives on the line for the betterment of keeping this country as free as it is. So special shout out to them. Last night wasn't the greatest. Cal Quantrill. Jay, I got to ask you, before we get into today's game, where's your concern level with Cal? He's had a couple rough outings the last two times out, and people are kind of questioning whether it was right for him to play in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with the World Baseball Classic, but yeah, he's getting shelled lately, and if you don't get it together, like they're not going to mess around. Like they're not in a position to let him figure it out. They're not in first place, man. Like if any of these teams in the AL Central heat up at any given moment, like we're hoping our team does, you're going to fall behind. And you just, especially when we have the pitching just all over the place with this team, like we're all pretty concerned. I mean, I know I asked you, Jarvis. We're all believe that this team just has a 3D printer somewhere making pictures, and this dude's throwing that out there. That ain't gonna cut it, man. Especially when you got Kristen McKenzie coming back right now. Someone's gonna have to go down, and if these young kids are playing the way they are, how could you send them down?
I mean, you gotta think that Tanner Bybee and Logan Allen have solidified a spot in this rotation as of right now. Now, is there a spot for Hunter Gaddis out in the bullpen? I don't know. I keep hearing, Valley Sports sideline reporter and ESPN Cleveland Guardians reporter Andre Knott talking about it all the time over the last few days. I don't know if something big is coming, but impactful, or what the team hopes are impactful decisions and changes to what they've been doing. They gotta do something. I mean, yes, it's great to get 2 series wins, but you improve your record basically by 2 games. You're 5 games under 500. You started before this 7 games under 500. You're getting 2 wins for every 3 games. You're going to need to build on what you've done. These are just 2 series. Now, I'm not one of those people that have totally thrown away the season already. I think some people have done that. But if this is going to be the effort that you're going to get when your best pitcher doesn't have a great day, has a terrible day, the offense comes in and picks them up. This is the type of team that we are so accustomed to. When one element, pitching, relief, and hitting, I guess 4 elements, defense, when something isn't right, we've always seen this team pick somewhere else up. You never knew who was going to be, who that guy was going to be to pick the team up. We're going to need to see games like today. Maybe it's Josh Naylor. Maybe it's Jose Ramirez. Maybe Josh Bell starts to hit. I hate that we only hit when it's warm, because plenty of teams come into our place when it's cold and they get the wins when we are struggling in the early part of the season. But if you can start stacking some series together and maybe get a sweep in there or 2. I mean, look, the AL Central isn't that great of a division. Right now, you're one of those teams that people are looking at, hey, Guardians are right for the picking. We need to turn that around. If this season is going to go towards the direction we all expected it to from the start, got to turn it around here soon.
What's your expectations for this season, Kevin? What do you want at the end of the season? What do you believe this team should be doing?
They should be making ALDS to ALCS.
I'm saying World Series, man. I'm sorry. This team has just been I hate that. Why should we be like, oh, we're settling for the ALDS? And I see what you're saying. It's probably more realistic, but why are we settling for that? And Jay Crawford, when we had him on, I think awesome guest last week, he brought it up, and it's kind of sunk in my head all week. When you look at this team, do you think that they could beat the elite of the teams, the elite of the elite in the playoffs? No, I don't.
Not right now.
And that's why, and I love him. He's a great dude. He's not going to be here forever. I'm so pro trade Beaver, and I need a bat that's like the for sure guy to pull up from somewhere, and he's going to be a big bopper, and he's going to hit us 45 home runs for the next 7 to 6 years. If you put that bat into this lineup with those base hitters, I just have this feeling that it'll change that lineup just so much, Kevin. It'll open it up, and the runs will just be pouring in again. And
you look at a team like the Yankees, like, yeah, they have a lot of big boppers, and you're never going to get to that level or that many guys that can do that, because the Yankees have the payroll that not many other teams have in Major League Baseball, and no salary cap. Like, those are conversations, again, other times, off season, whatever that might be. But
I mean, the Yankees might not even make the playoffs right now.
Right. But what I'm saying is you need a lineup where even if you add one more piece that instills not necessarily fear in other pitchers, but more concern, I got to fine tune where I'm going to place the baseball. I can't just throw it anywhere and know that these guys are going to swing at everything. If I don't get it to my exact spot, this person's going to hurt. Then you have that person. Now other guys around him, the lineup starts to lengthen because these guys start to see other pitches. because they know, hey, we're getting close to this guy coming up in the order.
Like Josh Bell shouldn't be batting fourth. He should be a fifth batter. So if you put someone and you get someone that could be a true fourth hitter, Josh Bell's now going to see those great pitches, and Jose's going to see even better pitches. But when you get the guys like Quan on, we're always getting on base, and hopefully our guy Ahmed Rosario starts picking up because he's supposedly supposed to. He does this is his career thing, starts slow, picks up, gets a million base hits. We need someone behind Jose that can protect him, and also when he gets on base with the double, that's going to turn one run from him getting an RBI into 3 runs because you brought him home with the home run.
Yeah, and
because we got the pitching. The pitching's there, dude. Like I'm not. It's more than good enough to win you a World Series. This pitching, especially if Tristan McKenzie comes back and he's good, and you don't need Bieber to do it. I mean, I'd love to keep him. Let's just be. I mean, we love Bieber. He's a class act, but the way this organization's built, we know how we have to get great players, and we have to trade great players to do so. And we proven time and time again that we can do it. We just got to do it with the bat for once.
And I know Chris Rose last week said, what's our best attribute? It's identifying other teams' talent. Identifying other teams' talent. I feel like this organization has done a good job of that, but it's I don't feel like, and I could be completely wrong on this, probably just shooting from the hip on this, but like just the feeling that I have is never really had gotten that guy in a trade where impacting you right away. It's always been, I'm identifying a talent that's going to be good in a few years. Once they come through the minor league system and they get with our development staff, they are going to be really good. Now that's been more so pitchers than hitters in this organization, but you can get prospects. That's fine, but there's got to be that other piece. For a guy like Shane Bieber, like I said last week, I am not just making that trade to make the trade because we got this team's third and fifth and eighth best prospect and all of this, and they're at AA here and they're at AAA there, but they're only at
so you want a
here.
professional dude that's already up.
Yes, I want a dude that's already up, and I want a professional major league hitter. That
problem
is what
with that is if you're trading Bieber, you're most likely trading him to a contender. And the contender's probably not going to get rid of that piece. They're going to want to get rid of their top prospect for what you're looking for right now.
I know.
That's why it's a double-edged sword right there. Like I would love for him, like I agree with you. I'd love for him to like go trade Bieber and go bring Shohei Ohtani or something. And I'm like something crazy like that would be awesome. But realistically, they're probably going to have to take the gamble and get that prospect. I just hope they go for like a top 5 prospect. I need the next Juan Soto or something. I need something awesome. Like
now, I understand. Like I realize that if this team is out of it come trade deadline, they are going to, it's going to be very tough to ask for something like that from a team because you are, like you said, you're trading them to a contender.
That's the thing. With our division, that's where I think it's going to help us. So, because we're never really going to be out of it, as long as we're playing the way we are. But yeah, if you fall too far, like you're saying, your bargaining chips, you lose some bargaining chips
because you don't have those extra games in your division anymore to rely on to kind of pad your stats, pad your record. You're facing every team, or at least every team in the National League. You got to face some really good teams. Baltimore, who is a much better team this year. You saw how good their offense was. That's what makes Logan Allen's performance on Monday that much better. They have proven it over the course of 2 months that this is a really good offense. This isn't the same Baltimore Orioles team. So you're going to have to beat good teams. They're going to see your record, and maybe you're going to have to take advantage of some teams thinking they're going to have it easy by playing against you until you can get that record back up. So, hey, it's a long season. We're at the end of May. We still have June, July, August, and September, plus sometimes a couple days in October. So still a lot of baseball to go.
What I'm hoping, I was talking to my dad, who's like my my go-to guy, pretty much like your grandpa for baseball. Like the dude knows more he's forgotten more baseball than I'll know. And we both were saying how that walk-off Jose home run or hit, and it wasn't a home run, but the walk-off the other night, something like that can get the funk off of a team. And because baseball is very much like golf, and I think these guys are all in their heads and they're just over swinging. You're trying almost too hard to get base hits. And this will it'll like loosen you up, and then you got to build on that. And they have been building on, like, finally we're getting some runs. But I don't want to jump ahead and be like, oh, we're all as well and all is good. Like, no. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. A couple weeks of good baseball ain't going to do it. It's like you said, it's a long season, and you just got to keep winning series as many as you can.
That's barely a week of good baseball we've seen. You won 2 series. You can't feel good about yourself. Yeah. But things that you have done, you need to continue. Again, the team that we have seen, when one aspect is down, other guys come up and they pick them up. We've just seen like where that one aspect, whether it's someone coming out of the bullpen or the offense not hitting, if something wasn't working, this team doesn't win because it just derailed the whole thing. So hopefully we start to see the Guardians we expect. Before we get out of here, real quick, Jay and Peter, DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, no, indifferent.
What do you think? Care. What do you think?
I have questions. I tried to tweet you guys on your other show to ESPN. Like, is he making money from Arizona still? Because if he's making money from Arizona and the dude somehow we can get a team-friendly deal, sure. If we don't, I don't care either. So I guess indifferent. It's like, I don't think it's the Julio Jones situation that happened a few years ago, because I thought he was washed up and he proved to be washed up. I think DeAndre Hopkins still got some good years. He's only 30 years old, and I think Kyler Murray's garbage. So you get him hooked up with Deshaun, maybe he does come back and have a 1-year deal, prove it. Like, I love 1-year deals for any players that want to get that last contract, like Zadarius Smith that we got. Those are great players because they play insanely motivated for money. And I don't care as long as you're playing motivated. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not out here on Twitter trying to advocate for the Browns to sign him.
Yeah, I would like to see him, but it would have to be something that makes sense for the team.
I think he's going to Baltimore. That's my guess. I'll say it now.
Oh, Kansas City would be my guess if it's Kansas City or Buffalo. But I don't know that they have the cap space for it. Like, this dude wants like $17 million a year.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I don't know if he's still making money from Arizona. Like, nor did I hear what he wanted or anything. Like,
I don't think so.
I just wasn't paying attention all that much. It's like, if it pops up, we got DeAndre Hopkins. I'll be like, sweet, cool. When he was in Houston, dude, he honestly was one of my favorite players to watch play football. Like, that dude can catch a football better than almost anybody in the NFL to this day. He ain't the fastest, but he's still pretty big, has a huge catch radius, and probably the greatest hands in the league still. Like, he don't drop nothing.
And he was one of my most consistent picks in fantasy football, especially in those days in Houston.
That's why I don't hate on him.
Yeah. Like, I'm not hating on him. I think that I think he's stepping past his prime, but now is he better than most of the guys on this team right now? Probably.
He's probably better than every receiver on our team right now.
I feel like
Amari Cooper is the only one I'll give him a run first.
I thought about this since, running some shows at the place I work at and talking about this yesterday. I thought unfair to DeAndre Hopkins a little bit. I think I am I'm taking towards him these thoughts of this team these fans, every time they hear a name that gets released or is available. Oh, the Browns got signed. Oh, the Browns got signed. Let's find a way. Let's use our Twitter spaces and let's do it. Let's get
all the fan bases do that. I was curious and I went and I searched on Twitter all their fan bases, and then when a news broke, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I thought it was just us. No, they're all crazy.
Yeah, so I'm just deflecting onto
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, like that kind of frustration. Like the only thing they can do right now is make moves, add to the roster, do these workouts, these voluntary workouts, mini camp next week, and then take their summer vacation. Like all they can do is what's available to them in the NFL calendar year. I understand that. I'm giving Andrew Berry credit for making these moves and for this team making the coaching changes that they decided to make to try to change that culture inside that locker room. I'm giving them credit for that, but I'm never, until they prove me otherwise and give me reason by their play, not just what they say and what they do in the offseason, I'm not going to ride some sort of high roller coaster. Other people are going to do it. They're going to get excited. They want all these names.
It'll
You have as
probably
many-
be me as soon as training camp starts.
I know. That'll be you on the show, and I'll be the one that I'll be you'll be good cop, I'll be bad cop to Browns fans. It's totally fine.
Emmett Golden, he made a point on that. It's like, just try to enjoy it. Like, why not? It's like, you're a Browns fan. This is pretty much the only time we get to enjoy it anyways. Like, might as well. I'm like, you know what? You might be right, because history has shown us this is the only happy time to be a Browns fan, is the hype season. And
Yeah. Well,
I'm with you. I'm pretty sick of it. We've expressed that. But man, it's hard as soon as training camp hits and you start seeing these guys catch balls against the air. It doesn't matter. We're Browns fans. We get hooked. It happens. Did you freeze?
No, he's
you
moving.
guys
He's
went out.
moving.
I was like,
we're probably
frozen?
freezing while everybody watches
the
this, so we'll
fun
get
of
out of here
doing
before
Zoom
this
calls,
thing
you know.
explodes.
Zoom calls, they're the best.
Yes, the fun of
Said no one.
yeah. So we'll get us out of here on this. Again, I'll be the bad cop to Browns fans. People
You're
can
not the
think I'm
bad
not a
cop,
Browns
you're
fan. That's
just-
totally fine.
I'm actually still where you're at. I'm not all that
Yeah.
hyped. I'm still I'm just focusing on my Guardians right now. Like, it's baseball season. I'm not gonna
Right.
tear away from their attention to give the hype train the thing. But like I said, once training camp, I get to go there. I'll probably fall back into it a little bit.
I'm
But-
focusing on the team that's actually playing games. And you brought up the Guardians, and you said, when I said ALDS, ALCS, like, have higher expectations. Same goes for the Browns. I know that they haven't been consistently in that spot, but hey, again, football was invented an hour down the road, an hour south
Here's the
of
thing.
Cleveland, and this is a football town. We should expect more from our football team and more consistency from them. You can have as many big names as you want. You can bring them all in. But if the coaches can't get them together and these guys don't actually want to play, they just come here for a paycheck, and there's all this dysfunction in the locker room, and it's the same old story. It doesn't matter. So
It falls on
go
one guy.
win on
Falls on one
Sundays.
guy, dude. If Deshaun Watson leaves this team, becomes a leader on and off the field, does what he has to do on the field to win games, dude, the ceiling is like through the roof for this team. Their team is talented enough. I hate saying this because it drives me nuts, because we've seen what they do. But this team has the talent to win a Super Bowl. I truly believe that. I believe that he's going to come back to form, but I'm scared. Like, that's like,
Yeah.
we're Browns fans. We're so jaded.
This is what we've been brought up to be. You said the ceiling is the roof. If ceiling could go through the roof if Deshaun Watson plays well. Unfortunately, what we've seen is what Michael Jordan once said: the ceiling is the floor. Pretty sure he said that.
That's funny.
Yeah, he had no idea what he was saying at that time. So
Ceiling is the floor. Sure, Mike. Sure. I'm
On
not going
that-
to compare him though to anybody. I've never seen him.
yes, we're not gonna compare eras. We're
I
not gonna-
actually did see him play, but
Yes, I know you did. So I feel like I've seen enough of him, and like my dad had like everything that I needed to resource wise to see him. But hey, I'll follow Chris Rose's model and not gonna take it too far. So on that note, probably went a little over the amount of time we wanted to go tonight, but my son has come back. Wife and friends went to go get some ice cream. They took a little guy with them. I need to go help with my son. Been working all day. So for Always Positive Jay, for our producer extraordinaire Peter Tillip, again, we send all of our best on behalf of Voice of Land, Big Play, Cleveland fans everywhere to Jim Donovan, dealing with leukemia again. We know you'll fight the good fight, and we're going to do whatever we can to help you and other people going through it. Do more, give more of ourselves to help you fight through it as well. That's going to wrap up the show. As we always say, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all 3,000.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
And live life, all gas, no brakes. We'll see you next time right here on the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network.